Hey everyone, I'm Kurtis,
And I'm Shank.
and you're listening to the Good Buds podcast.
Let's smoke some sassy stuff.
Welcome to the Good Buds podcast, the show where good buds smoke good buds and talk about them. This is episode 17, airing Monday, December 7th, 2020. We're almost out of it!
Yeah.
On Spotify, YouTube, Anchor, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, and many more. Thanks for joining us.
This episode is brought to you by She Sells Seashells, located seaside, shortly past the sub shop on Shrimp Street. That only took me one take, I promise. And they aren't really real, but if you look in the description for the links, you can subscribe while you're on your way through. Shimmy on to the show.
That's some awfully awesome alliteration there, Shank.
Thanks.
So how are you doing today?
Oh man, fantastic. I was just doing some more touches on the office here, making things look a little bit better and seem a little bit better for when we're doing our live streams so that the folks have something pretty to look at aside from this beautiful face of mine. How about you, man? How you doing?
Oh yeah, we are live streaming now. We're live streaming on Twitch, aren't we? Occasionally?
Yeah, on
At
Twitch and every now and yeah.
At Good Buds Shank and also at Good
Yeah.
Buds Kurtis.
Yeah, and every now and then we're gonna be streaming even to our YouTube channel. We can let the folks know on Instagram and Facebook if they wanted to go and subscribe to us there. They can find out when we're gonna be doing that.
Oh, very nice. Very nice, very nice. But
Yeah.
in terms of how I've been today,
Yeah.
it's been an interesting day. So I decided I was gonna go Christmas shopping, get it out of the way early. All the sales are going on right now, Cyber Monday, Black Friday, all that stuff.
Yep.
So
Save
and
money.
well, for the first time since COVID, I actually decided to go to the mall that was nearby, the local shopping
nice.
center. That was a mistake because when I went inside, there was a bull inside, like an actual bull. Like
What? Like a bull
like an animal.
like a farm animal?
Yeah, like
Man,
with horns and
your
everything.
town is crazy with animals running around. I remember
know,
back a couple
Detroit's
earlier in
crazy,
the
bro.
season.
Detroit's crazy.
Hey,
What can
earlier
I
in the
say?
season, some animals were running around town and like bull in the shopping
Yeah.
center. That's crazy. So what was
Yeah.
he doing?
He was literally charging in stores. Like he was charging in JC Penney's, he was charging in a Target, he charged in Payless, he even charged in a Panera Bread. Like it was the pretzel hut everywhere. He was
Oh
he was charging everywhere.
man, that sounds insane, dude. Like I'd be scared out of my fucking gourd if I was in a building.
I mean, I
what
was
did you
high.
do?
I mean, I was too high out of my gourd, so it didn't
Well,
matter to
yeah,
me.
yeah.
But
Oh, well,
I
if
did
they
catch
you
eyes
right.
with it. I did catch
Yeah.
eyes with it, and I swear I thought it was starting to charge at me.
Yeah. So what did you do, man? How did you What did you do?
I pulled out my cell phone and I canceled its credit card. Anyway, be sure to check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. If you like what we're doing, check out our Patreon page. We have 6 tiers available, including bonus content and access to our private Discord channel.
He is absolutely right, and we would love it if you would swing by our page, just check it out, and consider donating to the show because it would help us out a lot. Now, let's get into the review.
Good Buds Review, Good Buds.
So, Kurtis, what are you burning today, man?
Well, Shank, today I am burning on some Sunrise Sherbert.
Nice.
Now, despite the uplifting name, this is a indica dominant hybrid, actually. Pretty surprising, but we'll get to it in a bit. Now this is a special cross between Girl Scout cookies and pink panties. I'm not a huch fan of the name, so
Okay.
we're just gonna stick
No,
with
let's-
Sunrise
yeah.
Sherbert.
Yeah,
Otherwise
I was
just
gonna
known
say,
as
probably good idea.
Sunset Sherbert or just Sherbert. This is a mossy green and almost orange looking nug. Now, they're about medium-sized nugs, so, pretty large in general, but they're semi-dense, but the interesting part is they break apart under pressure, and just...
Man, that sounds crunchy.
Oh, it's a beautiful crunchy nug. Now, like I said, it's a mossy green, but there's these lighter aspects to it that give it an almost orange look. Like, really orange, really green. And it doesn't have anything to do with the hairs, but it is coated in a good amount of dark orange hairs on it. But even without it, like just from a distance, from up close, it's just got this weird shading of green that makes it look almost orange. So
Nice.
it's very nice, and then, like I said, semi-dense nug. It does have a solid crystal coating as well. There's a solid amount of crystals all throughout, even on the inside. More of those hairs. Again, more crunching. Beautiful. But,
Sounds great.
oh yeah. And the interesting part is the crystals don't really stick to my fingers too much. So it's not really a sticky,
Well,
icky
here,
nug, but definitely looks dense. In terms of the scent, and I can see why they call it Sherbert. The scent is surprisingly exactly like Sherbert. It's got like this very light orange scent to it, but it's not like a tangerine or anything, but it smells like a sweeter orange scent. Like they mixed cream in with it or something like that.
Hmm.
So very interesting. But it also has these floral scents and this herbal scent as well. Kind of these notes in the background. And they, I don't know, it gives it like a melon scent, I guess. Some cushy smells, some minty smells in there too. I don't know. It's just a weird array, but it ends up
weird
making like this orange
aroma.
sherbety scent. And it's very interesting, and I cannot wait to taste it.
Nice, nice. Sounds interesting to me, man. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
honestly, it sounds like a really beautiful, beautiful nug. It's hopefully it tastes like it smells, eh?
Oh yeah, I hope so. But
Yeah.
what are you gonna be smoking on for us today?
Today I'm going to be smoking on some lovely Shishkaberry.
Ooh,
Yeah,
Shishkaberry?
Shishkaberry. Yeah, Shishkaberry. It's got a really interesting name. We're smoking some interestingly named stuff today. This is a cross, actually, of, I believe, DJ Shortberry and Afghani. This one was grown by Namaste, but it is a strain you can grab from other sources. And Curtis, I'm joining your club today, brother. This is a hybrid indica.
Ooh, very nice.
That's right, man. That's right. I'm going to be part of the indica team today. Now this nug is beautiful. It's very small little nugs, at least the ones that I got. They're kind of dark green with hints of brown and painted specks of purple throughout. They're, like I said, smaller nugs that are very tight and very firm, with some red hair that can kind of accent the outside, but it's not excessive. And as far as crystal goes, it's got just some noticeable crystal when you turn it in the light the right way, but it's not one of those sheens you notice from a distance. Like not like your strain where you kind of look at it and you go, oh, okay, there's a solid crystal coating on that.
Right.
It's more of a you look at it and when you see it in the light, it definitely has that shimmer to it, but it's not as crazy as some strains that I've had in the past. Now as for the smell, this is kind of a little strange. It's rank.
Ooh, rank?
I
Wait,
yeah,
rank
I
or
didn't.
dank?
Yeah, I didn't. No, I didn't mispronounce dang. No, it's rank. The
Like,
smell is. I'm gonna take one for the team, but
oh,
okay. It smells like rotten berries and rotten apples.
oh,
It is not
oh,
great.
oh, God, no.
Not great. Yeah, no, we're talking. This is the first strain in a while I've had that I do not love. It's got that like very rotten, like apple smell. Like when there's one apple in the bottom of a
Oh,
bag and it's kind of gone bad.
I'm from Michigan.
And
I know
like
what a rotten apple smells like.
yeah, you're right. And it's like that almost like winey kind of vinegary smell.
Right.
Like it hasn't quite gone too bad yet, but like it's not like months old or weeks old or anything like
No,
that. But just like a couple of days worth of
no, I know what
the
you
cork
mean.
out of a
It's kind
one.
of like that smell, like if you take a half gallon of apple cider and you take it behind the garage because you were going to smoke there in the middle of winter because you didn't want to, make the house smell like anything. But then it turns out you didn't really give a shit and it was too cold out, so you ended up leaving the apple cider out there and it lasted there until about spring. But then you didn't want to mow the lawn at first, so you waited a couple weeks into it and then it got a little heated up and then it got a little cooled off and you're like, all right, now I'll go out and mow the lawn. So then you go out and then you grab the apple vinegar or the apple cider and now it's turned into apple cider vinegar and you're like, yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, that exact specific thing, exactly that. 100%. That exact specific. I can't get more specific. That exact what he just said. That's as far as I can go for the smell. So, it does on a note. It does have a strange kind of cush note underneath everything, like kind of like chilling out back there, like, hey guys, I'm still here, just hanging out back here.
I'm still
And so,
smokable.
Yeah, it's just kind of chilling there in the background. This really kind of weird.
Just
Kush
kind of
note.
there, like, hey, everything's fine. Don't worry, you can still smoke.
Yeah, exactly. You are 100% correct about that. Now, hopefully, unlike yours, where we hope that it tastes exactly like it smells, I'm hoping that mine
Well,
tastes nothing like it smells because it is not great.
mine smells
Um,
wonderful, and I hope mine follows suit. So, with that
yeah.
being said,
Well, I know that.
oh, go
Yeah.
ahead.
But I was gonna say before we check them out, because I know the people know and we know we are going to definitely give these a shot. But we need them to check out our Instagram because they can see beautiful pictures of these nuggy nugs while they're there.
Oh yeah,
If they go onto our, yeah, we both have a personal Instagram. Mine is Good Buds Shank,
mine is Good Buds Curtis.
and we have a shared one for the Good Buds podcast. You should go on there, follow all of us, make because we post random miscellaneous dank stuff on our personal ones, and we post podcast related cool shenanigans and background stuff for you folks to check out on the
Exactly.
main podcast
We,
page. So
we got some
yeah,
weed. We got
go
some
there.
behind the scenes.
Yeah,
We got some
yeah,
bongs. We got some other stuff. Some shout outs.
yeah.
Some giveaways maybe
So
coming up because
yeah,
we just
yeah.
recently hit 100 followers on a couple of our
We
Instagrams.
did,
So you know what?
we did.
How about you go and join us so we can get some giveaways going up?
Yeah, that would be fantastic. I would love that. I would love that.
I would love that
We'll
as
get
well.
that. We'll get this started. And so, just make sure to check that out. Give us a follow. Check out our Facebook. Give us a follow there. Obviously, we can't wait to test these out any longer. So I won't hold Kurtis back from saying what the man needs to say.
Thank you. I got a bong right here, Shank. Do you have a bong right there?
I got a bong right in my hands,
And
brother.
I have a lighter right here, Shank. Do you have a lighter over there?
I have a lighter.
Okay, well,
Right
let's
here, my
play this
friend.
adult version of Dora the Explorer. Let's light our jewels together, boys. Blaze it. Smoke.
Blazer los dubis.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Mm-mm. So Kurtis, brother, how's that tasting for you, my friend?
Uh, um,
You right? What's up?
I'm gonna have to hit this again. Go ahead and give them your flavor review. Sorry, everyone.
Okay, folks. No, that's fine. This is unprecedented, but we are going to go ahead with this anyway. It's a little bit of a different format this week. My smoke was an awesome hit. That smoke was substantially better than the smell was. The smell was disgusting, but the taste had a sweet tone, very, very sweet berry tone, and a nice smooth finish. Even though I'm coughing a little bit, that's because I've upgraded my bong to a substantially larger one. Um, it is beautiful. It has very full, robust smoke.
Your bong
That has a
sounds
really
beautiful,
nice-
by the way.
Oh, thank you. It feels good. And it has a really robust Kush flavor. In the background of it, like everything, it's a really nice taste compared to the smell. I would gladly take that weed burning any day over that weed just sitting in a jar, which is rare. Usually, I like them both equally, or one, the flower form a little bit more. But in this case, the smoke, 100%. This would be an okay incense, not a great air freshener. Um, so yeah, so I'm definitely like, yeah, it's good flavor in the bong. Can't wait to try it in the joint. But did you figure out what was going on with your bong there? Like, what happened?
No. So here's the thing. Uh, sometimes weeds affect different people in different ways, and every
True.
weed is its own special terpene, sunflower, or snowflake, whatever. Okay, so the flavor on this sucks. It's lame as shit.
Okay.
So it's smooth. Like, you feel like it's a hit. You get smoke, like weed, but
Yeah.
I can't get a fucking flavor profile on it for the life of me. Like a little bit of floral scent in there, kind of, but I don't know, man. Like, I'm really not tasting a lot, and I just had.
It's not like
By the way, I just had pizza, and I could taste that, so I don't have
Okay.
COVID or anything. I could smell the weed
Solid,
just
solid.
fine, but no, it's I don't know, not a huge taste to it really. Which
that's really strange.
Is also-
I've had weeds like that in the past though. I have
Same.
like I'll agree. Like I've
And-
had weeds where I've smoked them and they just weren't.
And the only thing with those is those are creeper weeds. Those are ones where it's like, oh, this didn't affect me. I didn't get a good hit. I didn't get high. Then you hit it 3 or 4 times, and then you're like, kind of fucking
Yeah.
higher.
It sneaks up on you. Well, it's like those drinks that are really fruity. You
Shit.
drink them at the bar, and you're like,
Oh fuck.
and you just
Okay,
kinda
yeah,
like-
it works. Okay. So yeah, no problem there.
nice, good.
But yeah, okay,
I'm glad.
yeah, it definitely works.
So yeah,
But
that's awesome, man.
you
So
know,
before
I tell you how
yeah.
I'm feeling or anything like that, what if we figure out how other people are feeling?
Yeah, we should check some reviews online, right? I mean,
Exactly.
see what other people
By
have
the
to
way,
think.
these are the online opinions of other stoners, and we are other stoners giving our opinions to the onlines.
Opinion.
Absolutely right. So for the sunrise sherbet, the general conception is that it's a relaxed and euphoric high. It's a kind of creative high. So you do get, your little bits of good ideas and stuff. It is a good for stress relief and insomnia relief. So what I've seen is that it looks like it knocks you out when you want to go to bed, but if you're not trying to sleep, it won't knock you out immediately or anything like that. So that's really
Nice.
good.
Nice.
Only downside I can really
stay
see
functional when you
is
need to.
yeah. Only downside I can really see is dry mouth. Which is interesting because it sounds like a lot of this sounds very similar to the strain I smoked last week, which was animal cookies. That was episode 16. If you want to go check that out. But
That's one of my favorite episodes we've done so far. You guys definitely should check it out. It's
pretty
a really
good,
one.
pretty good episode.
They're all good, but that one's like one of my favorite ones we've done so far. So I'd check it out.
But yeah, Shank, how's that Shishkaberry doing for you?
Well, this Shishkaberry, man. What the people online have been saying about it is that it's got a much like yours, a very relaxed, happy, euphoric, uplifted, and sleepy strain of cannabis. Again, people say typically that if you don't want to sleep, it's not a couch lock strain. It's just one of those strains that it makes you feel so comfortable and relaxed, like a warm, comfortable blanket that you just take out of the dryer and just makes you feel comfortable so you can sleep if you want to, but you probably wouldn't have a problem staying up and reading your book if you felt like it.
Get wrapped up in a Kush Coon.
Yeah, Kush Coon. Yeah, damn right. Now we need to put a meme like that on our Facebook page or something like that. Hey, if anybody's listening to this and they want to make that meme before I make it or Kurtis makes it or we have our meme ambassador make it, that would be awesome. Post that on our shit and tag us. But yeah, the one review really caught my eye. I was on Leafly, actually, is where my review came from. My people's reviews came from this week. And what they said is, and I quote, it's from S dot 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 A. And they say, I ate dirt because I thought my breath smelled of weed in public. Yeah, I was that high. And 148 people found that review helpful. So
Helpful?
yeah, so frankly, I'm not going to say what did I get myself into because I've done stranger things than, eat dirt before. So this isn't anything new for me. And
people have written songs about eating dirt, so we're good.
It's not going to be like in the last episode where you potentially would have ended up in Albuquerque.
I got back safe and sound, by the way. Everything is,
which is good.
Everything is all right.
He's not. He isn't recording this from the other side of a truck stop glory hole, so that's good.
No, that one got burned down in my town. Remember?
Yeah, I know, man. That's so sad. I wonder if that guy's okay. We should check on him. But yeah, man. So it's magnificent. This weed sounds like it's a fantastic strain. Personally, I am looking very much forward to smoking this in a in a joint to see if the flavor is just as good through that as it was through the bong.
Me as well. And in order to do that, hold on. I made a deal with our advertised read from last week. There we go.
Oh, sweet. Thanks, bro.
Thanks.
I appreciate that.
Thanks, Cthulhu.
Appreciate it, Cthulhu. I'll call you later, bud.
Later. All right, bro.
All right.
So I got my joint here.
That's great.
You got a joint over there?
I have my... Mm-hmm.
Letters out, bro. It's 420 somewhere. Let's blaze it.
Blaze it. Oh, man.
Nice.
There it is, buddy. This is fucking... just as good through this. I can't even smell that stank-ass stuff.
Very nice, very nice.
Oh, man. So, Kurtis, is yours tasting better through the joint than through the bong, or what?
So, here's the thing. because it doesn't have any flavor, it doesn't really have any harshness to it either. So it's really good for a joint, actually, because it's really simple, really nice, elegant, smooth. And then I
Nice.
also got bored and I didn't know what to make of this, so I'm like, oh, sunrise sherbet. I think banana would be good, so I have it wrapped in a banana juicy J today, and
Nice.
so now I just get smooth with banana flavor.
That's a magnificent combination, man. I think that's fantastic.
I mean,
Like, and you know
it's
what?
all
It's
right.
funny.
It's not terrible, but as somebody who likes to, like take those nice solid tokes of different flavors, enjoy the terpene profile inside my mouth. It, no homo, but
A little bit disappointing.
little,
I get what you
all
mean.
right,
A little
little
bit
homo,
disappointing,
but
you know. Like, yeah. But I get what you mean though. Like, it's like when it's like when you fucking pick up a glass of what you think is water and it's vodka. Like, the expectation versus the reality disappoints you, and I mean, unless you love vodka, disappoints you.
right.
So it's
Especially
like
when
when
your
you
brain is so
expect,
like adjusted to like, oh, it's water or something like that. It's gonna go down super smooth.
yeah, exactly. So, but your brain hardwires, you're gonna smoke a joint or you're gonna smoke a bowl, and you're gonna get that flavor hit. And when you do it and you don't, you kind of get that burst of like, oh, what? Come on, man,
Right.
you're shitting me, right? Like that kind of thing.
Kind of makes me
And
want to
it's
smoke
like,
something different, but at the same time, it's like no, no, I'm not giving.
well, it's
I'm
okay.
not
We'll see
giving.
how this one.
I'm
We'll
not
see how it
giving up
affects
on
you.
you.
Yeah.
I'm not giving up on you just
Yeah,
because
don't
of that.
give up on. Don't give up. And just because weed doesn't have a flavor, sometimes that can be a good thing because frankly, weeds with low flavor profiles also typically have a low smoke smell profile because the smoke itself doesn't carry forward a
And
lot of
that's
the smell.
that.
So you would be able to go
You
around.
know
It'd
what?
be a
Come to
good
think of it,
stealth weed.
now that you just mentioned it, it literally like I can smell the heat of the burning paper, but that's about
Yeah,
it.
like minimal smell.
Like I really
Minimal
don't
smell,
smell
which is see,
anything.
it's good. That's a
I,
good Thanksgiving weed right there. You go for a walk with your cousins and you burn some of that and go back. Nobody can smell it, but they
exactly.
can
Walk through the
obviously
whole
still tell
neighborhood,
you're high. Because
nobody's
why the
none the
fuck else?
wiser.
Yeah, like they know. So I mean, that's like not necessarily a bad thing, and you still get baked from it, I assume. I mean, we haven't, we haven't seen through the
I got.
episode yet whether you'll get.
I'm getting pretty buzzed right now.
You can get yeah, you got a bump going, which is good. Like a little bit of a lift, which is always nice. You
Oh
want to
yeah.
that initial lift is important. Like I find that initial like if you smoke a weed and it doesn't have that initial kind of hey yeah I just smoked a bit of weed kind of feeling to it, it's probably going to be a disappointing ride all around. Like I mean, either it's not going to last for a long time or it's not going to have like the effect you want.
Right.
But if the weed has that kind of, you take that toke and it gives you that immediate, oh, thank fuck, I just took a toke, I needed that right now, kind of thing. Um, it's like, I guess it's just, if it's a more rewarding experience than a disappointing one, like your
Yeah.
bong experience was.
Absolutely. Yeah. And yeah, I can just relax with this, even though it's definitely doesn't have that normal flavor profile, and I can still get enjoyment out of it. And that's the great part about weed. You don't smoke it one, or you
Yeah,
smoke it one way, it's not right. You smoke it a different way, it might be right.
true.
If it
For all
doesn't
we
work
know,
for all
that
of
may be
that,
the best.
then you turn it into butter and you eat it. Because nobody could, because you know what? Nobody can say no to brownies.
It's true. It's true. Actually, I know a few people that don't like edibles, but at the same time, I will never turn down a brownie. I will never turn down a brownie.
Right.
But I know that but that's the thing too is like for all we know that weed that Curtis has right now may be the world's greatest gravity bong weed, and maybe that like strain that you smoke it from the grav bong and it's like, oh my god, I just took an 18-liter fucking gravity bong and I didn't die, like
I would,
now I'm the highest man on earth.
oh, yeah. Have you seen that new gravity
Like,
bong that's on the market? The one that's like, or it's like a kind of new, the newer model where it's like two stands and the whole thing looks like just like a capsule pill.
all right, Shank's gonna Google this right now, but I think I know what you're talking about. Is it similar to that
Uh,
iron lung? Like we used to call them back in my day. I don't
it's
know if this
still
is
a gravity bong.
we shortened it to lung, like we shortened it to lung, but it was the long term was iron lung. And basically what we did is we'd take a 2 liter. Oh, I see it here. Yeah, no, like the one that you can buy the store bought one. But what we would call it is a lung
Are you
or
on
an iron lung,
images?
and we'd take a Yeah, I'm on images. Yeah,
All right,
I'm
it's
looking at the one that looks like a pill.
the Stunned Glass Gravity Pipe by
Yeah, the
CaliConnected.com.
one. Yes, this bitchin' thing right here that you can like rotate it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and that's so cool. That right there,
The
that in
picture,
my
if
opinion
you're
is like
watching
the
our YouTube
apex.
video, the picture is up right now. If you're watching our podcast, you either gotta Google it or
Yeah,
go to our YouTube
straight
video.
up. But
Sorry.
that yeah, but
But
that is the apex of stoner engineering because I remember me and my friends back in high school, and post high school, and to this day, constantly have conversations about the fact that the best engineers in the world who will work with the most limited resources that aren't named MacGyver are smoking weed.
oh yeah.
Because me and my friends, we didn't have access to pot shops in my town. Like back when we first started smoking weed, and even to this day, there's not really. You can buy a few bongs in a few places, but they charge
Arm and a leg.
5 times what you get, what you should pay for them.
Right.
So what we would do is we would make inventions. We used to do like we actually I think we talked about this in
Oh,
one of our first or second episodes.
oh yeah. That
That
was
like
when I
you invented
revealed
that,
my
yeah.
favorite and most highly invented piece, my patented glue stick for school. It was a fucking jumbo
Yeah.
size Elmer's glue stick with a socket and a screen in it that was able to be pushed in,
Like
twisted around, and disguised as a normal glue stick that you could then carry around school with all the smells trapped inside. And it was
yeah. And
ingenious.
it's
Yeah.
like and that's what I mean. Like and it's like stoner engineering. And I remember like me and my friends, I don't know, have you ever heard of Chubby Pops? Like they're called like chubby brand like soda. They're these little like micro bottles. The bottles were only about like 4 inches, 3 inches tall. Like they're very small. They were little tiny. Like they'd be
Yeah.
what the Americans would call like stubbies for a beer or something, right? Like really
I
small.
get what you're
And
saying.
so yeah. So we used to be able to buy these pops by like for like $1 for a 6 pack of them. So what we would do is take that and connect them together with like straws or hoses that we would get from miscellaneous locations and like airtight it and watertight it and make like 6 or 7 chamber bongs out of like these chubby bottles just for shits and giggles. It was
Right.
completely unnecessary. It was completely redundant. It was completely ridiculous, but it functioned exceptionally well. And we did this with stoner engineering, man. Like and that stunned glass, that fucking gravity bong is the epitome of like some stoner sitting down going, man, I have access to machining, I have access to like glass blowers, I have
S-
access to like everything else. I'm gonna make the best goddamn gravity bong I can make.
Exactly. When you're open up to these types of possibilities, it's incredible. And it's awesome because
And
even from
yeah,
learning from having, a bunch of stuff at my disposal, just sitting in my house, like, oh, I'm bored, I'm just going to make a bong because I'm still too young to
yeah,
go
why
out and
not?
buy one, or I can't go out and buy
Yeah,
one yet because I don't have money right
straight
now.
up.
And fucking, I would come up with some, weird stuff at the time. Obviously the glue stick. I've told one about, I used a Slurpee cup, like this weird
Mm-hmm.
carnival Slurpee cup type thing.
Yep. And it's like and that's the thing, man. You get brilliant with it, right? And it
Exactly.
takes yeah, you get brilliant with it,
And
and that's the thing is
it goes to the point where like I think it was a couple years ago, I had a coworker who come up to me and he's like, "Dude, I have this weed. I really want to smoke it, but I fucking dropped my bowl outside and it broke. So I don't have a bowl right now and I'm kind of upset, blah
the
blah, all
ultimate
this stuff."
disappointment.
So I'm like, "Dude,
Yeah,
I don't have a bowl
ultimate
for you to
disappointment.
smoke out of or anything with me right now. I don't have any papers." So he's like trying to think of something. He doesn't have any money to go to a nearby smoke shop, and we're kind of getting busy. So he only has time to just go outside, take a hit or two. So I grabbed literally a
Yeah.
piece of aluminum foil that we use to like wrap sandwiches in. Within four
Yep.
seconds, wrap, fold it into a bowl, poke some holes to make a screen, give that to him, and I'm like, you got a one-use bowl right there.
Yep. And they work. And they
Exactly.
work. Now, keep in mind, folks.
It's not
Folks out
good
there
for you.
listening,
It's absolutely terrible for
don't
you.
smoke aluminum because aluminum vapor when you burn it is not good for you. Blah blah blah. Disclaimer here: we are not endorsing you doing this at home. If you do this, don't blame us. But yeah, that works, man. That's a good solution. It's a solution to a problem.
Right.
And it's like that's what good stoners are good at. I find they're very good reactionary, like most of the time reactionary people. Like if something comes up, they can figure something out. Like like it's like and but what I was mainly getting at is that pill shaped gravity bong reminds me of like the lungs that we used to make, right? And those are basically a plastic bag, a thick plastic bag, taped or sealed to the bottom of a 2 liter pop bottle,
Right.
and tucked up inside of it, right? You push it up inside, and then you suck through the top, so it's vacuum sealed, like on the inside, and you put the bowl in the top, and you pull the bag down, and as you pull the bag down, the vacuum inside there sucks the smoke through the bowl in the top where the mouthpiece is, and it fills the chamber. Then you just unscrew the top, and you breathe in the top, and it
Right.
shoots all the smoke back into you.
Yeah.
Now,
the most basic form
like,
of gravity bong, pretty much.
Exactly, it's like a gravity bong, but without any water. It's a waterless gravity bong, essentially, right? And so there are these really cool ones called the bucket bongs, and they're like that, but they're the same idea as they're not quite as elegant as that Stunden glass. By the way, I think I may. That's 374. I'm gonna have to talk to my wife. It's 374 American dollars. If you guys have this, if we get to like 1,000 subscribers, I'll buy one of those.
I will too.
Like, yeah, if we get to 1,000 subscribers, I'll buy one of those. But I'll talk to my wife about that, but she'll be 100% on board with that. But if we get to 1,000 subs, I will buy one of those because like it's fucking awesome, and I would love to have that just chilling out on the desk right here by me. Yeah, but like it's this little bucket bong thing, and it looks like a little plastic toy, but it's essentially that waterless gravity bong, the iron lung that we used to make back when I was a kid before I just started smoking joints and bongs because I'm far too lazy to get that in creative now.
Right.
This is this podcast is as creative as I get now, folks. I'm sorry. That's all you're getting out of me. But yeah, so it's really, really cool. And the best thing is that Stunden glass thing can get really popular because of the fact that legalization is fucking like getting more and more fucking common all over the place and fucking everything else, and it's like companies can start getting more confident in investing in innovation, like because stoners are innovative.
Wait, I think I know what you're about to be getting into. I think I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not. Do I do the thing?
You can do the thing, man.
I'm gonna do the thing. It's time for some weed news worldwide.
All right, so my first story here is just going to be briefly touched on. I don't really want to get too in-depth with it because honestly and frankly, it hasn't passed all of the metrics that I've got for it to be like a set-in-stone story. We're going to update you more on this next week, but I just wanted to let you know that it's happening now. I found out, Kurtis,
what do we got?
That there's going to be a historic congressional vote to legalize marijuana federally, and it's going to be happening later this week. So now keep in mind, this is only going to be for the House of Representatives. It still has to go through the Senate.
Right.
But the legalization that we've been talking about for months now,
that we've been saying,
going to be kind of get pushed.
Yep, the one that we've been saying if it's finally getting voted on.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, we were saying it might be voted on later this year, it might be voted on by the end of the year, early next year, we didn't know when. We found out that the House of Representatives is going to be voting on it. They said it may be as early as Wednesday evening. So, hopefully that, they don't filibuster and fucking stand there talking about Star Wars. That's a Parks and Rec reference. To make it so that basically they can't get to it, but it should be happening Wednesday evening.
Very nice.
Which is fucking sweet. Because if it passes that, it's called the MORE Act, is what the bill is called.
Right.
It was announced by the Democratic House Majority Leader. His name is Steny Hoyer. I apologize if I'm pronouncing that name incorrectly.
No.
He's from the District of Maryland. But he said it over the Thanksgiving weekend. It's announced the name that it's the MORE Act, and it would be the first time that the House or the Senate has ever voted as a full chamber on legalization to end federal cannabis prohibition since it first went into effect in 1970 with the Controlled Substances Act. So
damn,
it's been long. It's been a long fucking time coming for the House to sit down and actually vote on this. And the beautiful thing, the best thing about them taking it and putting it on the floor, because I mean, Kurtis, you probably know about as much about about politics as I do, which is that if it goes to the floor, that they do that if they know they've got the votes. Like if they do that, if they're confident that people are gonna say they agree and it's gonna pass. They don't typically put the bills to the floor.
Right.
They'll squash it.
Oh yeah.
before it happens if it's not.
They'll either
So,
squash it, redo it, strip it down. They'll fucking pull it off until they have enough support, but they won't actually put it to the floor until they're confident, like, yeah, it's gonna get enough. So
absolutely right.
we're about to get
Absolutely
that
right. So I
solid
mean
push
now,
through.
so this push through is really really good. It's going to be um a little bit of a battle afterwards though, because it is going to be going to the Senate, and everybody knows that Senator Mitch McCall, he's a Republican from he's a representative from Kentucky. He has staunchly declared that he's against marijuana, and obviously it needs to be unanimous. So if he's against it, he's said that he's not going to legalize it while on his watch. But the thing is that a lot of Republicans from Maryland, when polled, or Kentucky, sorry, from Kentucky, when polled, said that they support marijuana legalization. So I'm gonna like just as a thing here, as a quick thing before we move on to the next section of this story that Kurtis has. I do want to say if you're in Kentucky, write into your representatives if you can, or email them, or call them, or whatever you want to do, and just tell them about how you support cannabis legalization. And regardless of how they personally feel about it, they need to vote for you, the people. So just fucking do what you can to get fucking Mitch McConnell to get his head out of his ass and get with modern times and help your state make a ton of money on legal marijuana. So that's pretty much it, man. Like, I just know that we'll cover more of this next week because it still has to pass through a lot of shit. We'll let people know next week whether the MORE Act passes. And it is a pretty goddamn unprecedented because, you know, 2/3 of
Absolutely.
Americans want to legalize now. Like,
Absolutely.
2/3 of people want to legalize, so it's like,
I mean, I'm
gonna
already
happen.
in a state where it's legal, so I'm like, oh, cool,
Yeah.
yeah, rest of the state, whatever. But at the same time, it would be cool if, we're able to trade, cannabis between ourselves because of NAFTA or something, getting
Yeah,
marijuana
and
added, and then,
not only that, but if you had a DEA agent come up to you when you were smoking weed in your own yard or whatever, the DEA agent could fucking, if they chose to fuck with you on a bad day, they could bust your ass, right? Because it's still federally illegal, even if it's legal on a statewide thing. So like,
I would be getting
federal agents
I would
could.
be getting state protections if I was,
Oh,
if
for
I
sure you
had,
would. Like,
if I
guaranteed it
was
would be.
under,
They could hassle you for
if
it.
I was
Like, if they're an
completely
asshole.
legal in the state's eyes and through their laws, then I would get some form of state protection, or at least a
Oh,
lawyer
for
who
sure,
would be
because
like,
if
yo,
unless you're committing a federal, yeah, unless you're committing some kind of
yeah,
actual federal
which I'm
crime,
not.
like if you had
So
like if you
anyway,
had like no, which you never would,
but
so that's good.
it
But
doesn't
yeah, it's still
matter. So
federally. If it's legal, it would be so great.
yeah, but it's good that we're able to trade stuff. It's able that because something else
Yeah.
that's able to be traded are stocks, and
Yes.
this whole federal legalization thing brings me into my next story. Ahead of the U.S. voting, there is a huge pop in stocks for marijuana in Canada.
Oh, nice.
So right before
Awesome.
so after the U.S. normal election, but before this upcoming election on federal legalization, uh, cannabis stocks for companies like Aurora and Sundial have soared incredibly, and we'll get back to those in a little bit. But so essentially, just after markets closed early on Black Friday, the House announced a scheduled vote Wednesday on the Marijuana Opportunity and Reinvestment and Expungement Act, or the MORE, bill, as he said.
That's what I was just talking about. Yeah.
The now, because of this, recreational cannabis sales will be a huge boom. Obviously, we said because NAFTA, it will be able to be traded. So,
Oh yeah.
since they want to get these very well-established big cannabis corporations into America, they've already started looking into stocks that are included in Canada because they already have, well-established companies.
Yeah.
But before I get to any more of that, something else that has either flown completely under our radar or we were too high to notice it beforehand. Apparently,
Which
the
could be a
United
possibility.
Nations Commission on Narcotic Drugs will begin meeting on Wednesday as well and is expected to vote on a World Health Organization recommendations related to cannabis. The most prominent suggestion is to remove cannabis from a list of illegal narcotics, which, while largely symbolic, could help with legalization efforts in several countries, especially regarding medicinal marijuana. So what that means is
Oh
essentially
my
completely
god.
under the radar, the UN is about to decriminalize marijuana. throughout the entire
Like,
United
whoa,
Nations.
bro, man, they weren't even sus at all, man. I didn't see that
I
coming.
did not see that coming, but that would be cool.
That's amazing, man. So,
That's
like, the
super fun.
repercussions of that, people, are huge. Like,
Abs-
guys, like, that's... I don't
Like,
think
countries
you-
are still
like, I mean,
free to
some of you
choose how
probably
they
get that,
want to, but as far as the
But, like,
UN
it's
is
like-
concerned, marijuana
it's like
is
right
no
now-
longer a criminal drug type thing.
Yeah,
or they're
'cause,
gonna
like,
be voting
right now,
on it.
like, the best parallel I can think of is, like, in the States, they have, like, a class rating for, like, drugs, right? And, like, caffeine is, like, a class whatever drug where anybody can get it anywhere for whatever reason, right?
Right.
And, like, the FDA controls the amount of it you can put in foods and blah, blah, blah. But aside from that, you can just buy it, you know? But, like, marijuana federally is the same to them as, like, heroin and crack.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when they look at it, they're like, it's the same. They don't see, on a legal level, any difference. 'Cause when you're charged, you're not charged with, like, oh, he was arrested for possession of cannabis. He was arrested for possession of a class whatever substance.
Class 1.
And so,
yeah.
like, class 1 or class A, I think it's
Class
like
A
class A or
narcotic,
class
yeah.
whatever. Yeah, class A narcotic, right? And they don't give a fuck if it's weed or crack or meth or whatever. That'll come through in evidence later on. But
Right.
for the charges, you're charged with that one crime. And, like, if the World Health Organization, now, I mean, granted, the current administration isn't that great at listening to the World Health, like the World Health
Right.
Organization, but they can work on that, and there are smart people out there that may, listen. And so, on a federal level, that may help with the MORE Act passing and with the UN voting on it. Like, that'll help more countries around the world go, hey, like New Zealand, they're still dragging their heels on it. So, basically,
Exactly.
we need to,
We'll let you know when
if they saw,
when they stop with that.
yeah, they're dragging their heels on it. So basically, with, like, if America becomes federally legal, Canada's federally legal, several other countries around the world are federally legal, like, it's gonna push more countries and more countries. Haha, more, get it?
Exactly.
The MORE Act. It's gonna push more countries to fucking start legalizing, and I
more
think it makes
marijuana.
sense. Yeah, because more marijuana means more money, which means more benefits to more people. Like, and
Yeah.
I
And these
like don't care
benefits-
what people's stances are on benefits. I mean, like, everyone has a better country to live in. That's good. Like, and, Canada's gotten better since legalization,
Exactly.
and our roads are getting better.
And yeah,
our schools are getting better.
So these stocks for these companies are also getting better.
Yeah.
Also, Tilray has
Nice.
increased, gained as much as 12.8%.
Nice.
Elvira went from fucking -1 or -0.71, but they gained 12% at its peak.
Wow.
And then GW Pharmaceutical PLC increased in value more than 7%. But even bigger than that was Sundial Growers, who had more than doubled at times in Monday. And
I love Sundial cannabis.
Exactly.
I've smoked some of their.
They were
stuff on the
valued-
podcast before.
They were valued at more than $1 billion in its initial public offering. Shares have
Oh, wow.
been withered in the open market, blah, blah, blah. Anyway,
Yeah.
so yeah, but they're at really good prices right now, and those are getting a boom. And then also from there,
That's amazing.
jumping as much as 19% was Aurora cannabis, which I know we've had some of them before, or you've had.
You're very right. You're very right.
But yeah, well, let's see. Yeah, it has a good thing. Wait, what's this? It says it had a good thing, but it says that there's a report here that it plans to close its Aurora Sun facility in Alberta.
Yeah, actually, fun fact. I have a little bit of a tidbit about that.
Oh, do you?
My news story pertains to exactly that.
Oh, so tell me what happened, Shank.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right. All right.
Next news story.
Yep.
Shank, take it
Next
away.
News story.
What happened
This
at
is
the
amazing.
Aurora
So
Sun
basically-
factory?
Now, what happened here? It's an Alberta factory. It's called the Aurora Sun property. It's in Medicine Hat, Alberta. Aurora is based out of Edmonton, right?
Right.
That's where Alberta is, right? So it laid off 30 people indefinitely and paused all operations at this facility. Now,
Oh.
it's been doing this. Obviously, now if most people know anything about corporate structures, when structures have a tough financial time. Aurora's stock recently, we don't usually talk about financial stuff, but I do pay close attention to it, and I know a lot about Aurora. And so recently, Aurora purchased out a company called MedRelief, and they switched over their production and everything to their facilities.
Right.
Now, the quality of the marijuana stayed the same. I will not knock the quality or anything like that. Their company is still a professional, good company, but they eliminated a lot of strains. Like they got rid of a bunch of strains that used to be offered through the other company
Right.
that weren't selling as well. They just kind of got rid of them, right?
Take the best
And
ones,
that made a lot of
make
it.
it a
Yeah,
part of your company, and
exactly.
then get the profit off them.
Exactly. So a lot of their customers didn't really take kindly to that, which makes sense because if you're a medical person, you don't buy it because it's like, like the best marketed weed. You buy it because it's the one that works for you on a personal level. Like we always say, when weed treats you differently, it treats you differently.
Right.
But ultimately, it led to Aurora losing a lot of money in stock. And when you lose a lot of money in stock value, what one technique is to centralize your production. So basically, you fire a bunch of employees, and that to investors says, "Hey, there's less employees, which means more profit because you pay less people, you have more money because you're expecting the company to keep production up, right? Like
Right.
you expect the production to stay consistent just with less people because they're streamlining things. So the numbers start to go up, and so basically they've seen an 11% improvement in the Toronto Stock Exchange recently, and they said that they're closing down that plant, which has 30 people. The spokesperson said it's going to happen around December 18th, so it's right before Christmas, which is kind of shitty. But I get it. Business doesn't really, business doesn't really care too much about holidays, right? I mean,
Oh no.
it ultimately, as much as it pains me, with like the one thing that pains me about legalization is that it is a business. It is,
Exactly.
like I would gladly grow weed and give it to all of my friends. Like I would gift weed to whoever asks me because a friend with weed is a friend indeed, and a friend without is a friend you hook up. Like I don't even fucking need to rhyme that part.
It works.
It's just but at the same time, like I understand that in order for weed to be a viable thing for governments, it needs to be a capitalistic thing, which is okay. That's great. Make money, make your money.
Of course.
And so they've had to lay off a lot of people, and the company so far has laid off 700 workers total, and
700.
has
Fuck.
700 employees so far. That was in June. And they announced plans to cease operations at 5 facilities in Saskatchewan, Ontario, Alberta, and Quebec. And it said that it plans to consolidate production and manufacturing to 4 facilities that are in Alberta, Ontario, and BC. So they're taking their small grows of like 30 employees and turning them into essentially mega operations. So people are going to get jobs,
Right.
but unfortunately these people did get laid off. Hopefully they get a severance package.
Hopefully they.
Like
Right, like a
big
big bag of
giant bag
cannabis.
of weed.
Yeah.
Yeah, giant bag of weed.
A tray of
And fucking
brownies
and
and some
some
money.
cash. Yeah, and some cash, and
And hopefully
a
they
good
can
reference
take
for their
this
next
to
job.
new dispensaries or new weed processing
Yeah.
plants or whatever that are coming
Yeah,
up.
because
New grow ups.
these people, keep in mind, like all of these
They're
wonderful people
experienced. They
that
have
like
some
unfortunately
experience.
are out of job, out of a job at the time, like they have experience and they know what they're doing now, so they could very potentially pop up with their own startup. They could do a co-op brand, because I don't think, at least in my mind, I don't know if there are any co-op marijuana brands where it's like a farmer owned, like each of the farms has a stake in the company and they're all equal shares. So like it's not owned by like
Right.
one rich dude.
I'm sure
It's
a
owned
couple
by
of them
like
are, but
yeah, yeah.
regardless, speaking of
Hmm.
owning businesses, that leads me to
Yeah.
my next story that also makes me very happy. And
All
this one's a
right.
little near and dear to me. So,
Show me what you're working with.
by the way, this one comes from 420 Intel. All of
Oh,
our
yeah,
news
mine also came from yeah.
all of our news stories are down below. The links are in the description. Sorry we haven't been citing them. We're high.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, we're high as fuck. This weed is really good.
So what is happening is the Detroit City Council has approved adult use cannabis sales. Essentially, what this means, like, obviously, it's
Wait a minute. You mean like beer?
kind of like beer. Okay,
And-
hold on.
and shots?
Hold on. So essentially, what's happening is obviously marijuana's legal in Michigan. So they had a couple dispensaries and a couple services that would work for recreational patients, but some of them were sketchy, some of them weren't exactly legit, and some of them were government owned or city owned or something like that. So finally, Detroit is allowing, private owned recreational marijuana sites to be licensed and put into the city.
Nice.
This is on top of it, or this is with a city ordinance. Now, this ordinance also includes provisions to ensure that at least half of the recreational pot businesses are owned by city residents. Now, the reason this is important is because as of right now, there's 46 medical marijuana retailers in Detroit. Only 4 of them are owned by people who live in the city.
Oh, so they're all like outside investors?
Outside investors, or a couple of them are corporate companies that work through, all the legal states, I guess.
Umbrella cos and stuff like that,
Type
like
yeah,
LLCs
shit like
that
that.
are like,
But a lot of them,
you trace their head office and it's a
Right.
post office box.
So essentially what this means is, with this new bill, at least half of these new businesses that are going in are going to be owned by actual residents of the city, putting more tax revenue and more profitability back into the city of Detroit, which is really
That's
good.
awesome, man.
And also,
so it'll be like locally owned, man.
exactly, locally owned, locally grown, locally stoned.
Locally operated. Locally stoned. Love it.
Uh,
If that's not their slogan, they're fucking stupid.
if it's not theirs, then I'm
Like,
taking it at some point.
saying. Yeah, I'm just saying, if that's not their slogan, that's fucking stupid. If okay, I would call my business that. Like, if it was like a cafe, for like, you can go there, you can get coffee, you can smoke a joint, like, like you're sitting in Amsterdam by the fucking canals, but you're by a fucking, like, Michigan rain gutter
Right.
instead. And you fucking, you're just sitting there smoking a joint, and someone brings over, like, a cup of coffee with a joint, and you, like, light up the joint, and then it's like fucking, you're sitting in the cafe, it zooms out to the outside, and it says, on the outside, on the sign, fucking locally stoned.
All right then. So anyway, they also have a thing
This is
here,
really
which
good beat,
is
guys.
legacy app. Like I said, residents of the city get a priority in getting their their license. 50% of the licenses will be awarded to applicants who have Detroit legacy, which means they've lived in the city for at least 15 years of the past 30 years, or 13 years if it's a applicant is low income. So they're even giving an initiative to low income to start doing it.
The fact that they're calling it Detroit legacy, I love that. Sounds badass.
Everything in Detroit sounds badass. We don't know why,
Hey,
but
Kurtis.
we just have to.
Curtis, man.
What up?
You have Detroit legacy.
I live 20 minutes away. So
Shut up. All right, go ahead. You have just outside of
I have Metro Detroit legacy.
Metro Detroit doesn't sound as badass, but I'll take it.
It sounds like I know who Superman is. But so
You're not wrong.
in total, 75 recreational marijuana retailers have been approved and have been allowed to set up shop in Detroit. But on top of that, the ordinance also allowed for 35 other businesses to open up. Do you know what these businesses are, Shank?
What are they?
Cannabis consumption lounges.
Wait, so like the thing, like, oh my god, like I was just spitballing earlier, man. I didn't think you'd actually be allowed to
like
do
legit.
that.
They are opening up like 35 cannabis consumption lounges, like hookah bars specifically designed for smoking weed, basically. Making Detroit the first city in Michigan to allow such establishments.
I was literally like, I was just fucking spitballing, man. Like, I didn't think you'd actually be allowed to fucking have like a fucking like that cafe idea.
Oh my god!
Dude, you
I
can
didn't.
make,
I didn't even read this part earlier. The measure also permits licenses to be issued for other cannabis businesses, including cultivators, processors, safety compliance facilities, temporary events, micro businesses, and secure transporters. Temporary events. That means they can get fucking licenses for like concerts and stuff, hypothetically.
Bro, that means that you could fucking do outdoor concerts and like marijuana brands could specifically organize events where it's like
could just
pot stock, and you go there and there's bands
dude, just
playing
come.
and
We
just
already have
weed
that.
everywhere.
I mean, it's in Ann Arbor, but we have a
legally,
thing called Hash Bash every year on 420, and literally an
Let's
entire
play Ann
park just
Arbor,
gets
though.
filled with smoke. But
It's like, no, I get
imagine
it, I
that
get
in
it. No,
Detroit
like,
with like Comerica Park,
that's pretty cool.
just a huge
That'd be pretty
billow
bitchin'.
of
Actually, to
smoke
be fair,
coming out.
every year, for 420 and for Canada Day, they call it Cannabis Day. Basically, hordes of people. I don't know if it'll happen this next year because of the Ronas.
Anyway,
I hope it doesn't, because I'd prefer hordes of people not to descend on anything right now with the pandemic going on. But people would gather on this place up in Halifax, the city close to where I live, called on a place called Citadel Hill, which is the big hill in the center of town. It's where they had a fucking fort, like it was an old military fort.
Yeah.
They have cannons and everything there. It's fucking sweet. You can like sit on a cannon.
right.
Yeah. Nothing more powerful than having a cannon between your legs, am I right, boys? But it's fucking ridiculous, man. But people go there and they do the same kind of thing. They just smoke weed, but it's not as big, I'm sure, as the event there, because like it's like the population of like Detroit is like the population of like all of Nova Scotia. So it's like I'm sure it's nuts. Like I'm sure them alone going out of the city to get to Houston, it's in Ann Arbor.
But yeah,
It's in Ann Arbor. That's fucking cool, man. Have you ever gone?
I've never been, only because I don't know why I've never been, to be honest. Usually,
know what?
I either
4,000
have
subs,
to
no
work, I get too high and forget, or I never have anybody to go with. I don't want to go by
Okay,
myself.
420,420 subs, and he'll go to that. Just, I'll go to it too. If we're that many subs, I'll fucking go too. Like we'll do a live fucking broadcast from just
Jesus
standing
Christ.
there. All right, guys. There's no one else here because Rona shut the event down, but we showed up anyway.
Well, that would probably have me feeling pretty down, but I gotta ask Shank, how are you feeling?
Oh man, good. A little bit disorganized, obviously.
Yeah.
But good. Good man. Really uplifted. Very very stoned. Overall, I don't have a lot of couch lock, but I do feel very comfortable. My whole body's quite relaxed. I can feel that I want to be slow. Like I want to be substantially slower than I am being. But it's like if I feel like if I slowed myself down much, I would just immediately go into kind of sloth talk mode, and I don't feel like doing that. But it's good, man. It's frankly, I enjoy this strain. This stanky, nasty butt crack. Well, not butt crack. I won't dishonor butt cracks. I'll just say rotten apple and rotten berry smell of this strain is not enjoyable, but the smoke is magnificent. Burns well in a joint. Burns well in a bong. I I'd say it's a good strain. I could recommend it strongly to people who enjoy getting baked, as long as they don't want to smell the weed that they're about to roll up. Um, how about you, man? How's yours treating you?
I mean, I feel pretty high. Feel pretty good. Very relaxed. Fucking head's good, but I don't know. Like I said, this weed just doesn't taste like anything. It's just making me feel weird, but I don't know. I'm high for sure. Fuck.
Yeah, well, that's it, man. That's all that matters, bro. Is like it's one of that's a weird strain.
It's a weird
We'll
strain.
mark that one down in the weird strains category. We'll put it in the
Yeah.
like kind of like strains that are kind of unusual.
We can
Like
put yours
this
in
one,
there
I'll
too
mark
for
that, yeah.
bad smelling,
Yeah.
but tasting
for
all
that
right.
stank nasty, yeah, for that stank nasty, but that awesome smell, that awesome taste, like the flavor is cushy and good. Like no, that's weird, man. Like that, it doesn't have much flavor or anything, but it does get you baked, so that's
Exactly.
the win, right?
But
That's the win right there.
with that being said, I do got one more bong packed.
Oh, you know what? As a matter of fact, I have a bong sitting right here in my hand.
Well then, bros, you know what time it is. Before we go, lighters out, toast the boat. Let's blaze it.
Thanks, Boop. Oh man, I love that. This is so good.
Oh,
This is a good smoking strain, guys. Good smoking strain.
I still taste nothing.
I taste nothing.
I taste nothing.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
Hold on for a sec.
The flavor, it does nothing. What's up?
Yep, I can still taste the spiciness of my pizza crust, so...
Okay, good. I'm glad they're okay. So we have confirmation. You can still taste things. It's not like it's like the Rona switch happened there between eating the pizza and smoking the weed.
Right.
He's safe, folks. That's good. But that
I taste the
weed,
sauce,
okay,
I taste
weed.
the pepperoni.
Yes, so I mean that's the thing is that's really strange. Obviously we don't typically have
Well, yeah.
that happen to us that we smoke a strain that doesn't have any flavor. Hey, there you go. Every now and then weird things happen, right? That's the
Exactly.
Sunrise Sherbert, right? That you're smoking today.
That is Sunrise Sherbert, and Shink has that there, Shishkaberry.
You are 100% correct. Shishkaberry is what I'm smoking today. So
Very good,
they've
very
both
good.
been awesome strains. I'm loving them. So how are we doing for time, Curtis?
We're getting a little short on time, and also tasting that pizza, I'm now hungry as fuck, so I'm gonna go eat that pizza. So I'm gonna roll one for the road boys, and I think it's time we take it on. I think,
Yeah.
thank you for joining us, and we hope to see you on the next episode of the Good Buds Podcast.
Yeah, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, smash that button so hard it breaks in half, and scream about this podcast to every single person that you see in any general area around you.
Exactly. Break that keyboard in half, then take it to Best Buy, fucking recycle it, get a new one, and then, yeah.
Yeah, just do that. Just do it.
Exactly.
Make sure you do that. Just smash. No, don't do that. That would be a bad idea because then you can't type in www.anchor.com/ or anchor.fm/good.buds. Just links on below. Bye, buds.
Later.